Good evening. I'm Dr. Tanya Tarish, Vice President of Student Services, and on behalf of the faculty, staff, administration, and the class of 2024, welcome to the 96th Yuba College Commencement Ceremony. Please stand for the Beale Air Force Base Honor Guard's presentation of the colors and remain standing for our national anthem, arranged by Yuba College Professor of Music, Dr. Ueeda, performed by student Mauricia Watkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming. In the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the brave and the home of the brave.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to start with the land acknowledgement. Yuba College is located within the unceded territory of the Nishnawbe peoples, and the original tribal families have yet to recover from the near genocide of their people. We acknowledge the Nishnawbe people are still here among us today, though they are nearly invisible, and their story continues to be excluded from history. We understand that the Nishnawbe land is not federally recognized, and Yuba College seeks to amplify the voice of the Nishnawbe as they pursue this recognition. As residents and visitors in Nishnawbe land, we stand beside the Nishnawbe people and their right to sovereignty, self-governance, and self-determination through the stabilization of their people, homelands, and culture. This acknowledgement demonstrates a commitment to working to dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism and the lasting impact of the California Gold Rush. We therefore commit to move beyond words into programs and actions that fully embody a dedication to Indigenous rights and cultural equity. We have an obligation to support the Native peoples in our community and those engaging with our institution as students, staff, faculty, and visitors. It is our hope that this acknowledgement will be the first step of many toward intentionally fulfilling our obligations to these communities and treaties.
It is now my privilege to introduce the platform party. Please hold your applause until I've introduced them all. From left to right, Dr. Sean Pan, Yuba Community College District Chancellor, Susan Alves, Trustee President, Rita Andrews, Trustee, Denise Burbank, Trustee, Juan Delgado, Trustee, Dr. Jeremy Brown, Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Tani Dotson, President, Dr. Meredith Selden, Academic Senate President, Shirley Camacho, Student Speaker, and Sarah Barnes, Medal recipient. Also joining us are Uba College Deans, Dr. Michael Bagley, Dean of STEM and Social Sciences, Dr. Alan Dixon, Dean of CTE and Workforce Development, Christina Vanucci, Dean of Arts and Education, Annabelle Toche, Dean of Student Success, and from the district, we're joined by our YCCD Foundation Director, Jay Loudon. We also have here tonight from the Yuba City Unified School District, Shirley Pretty, Board Member, and Florentino Guzman, Assistant Superintendent. From Marysville Joint Unified School District, we have Paola Sotelo, College and Career Specialist. And now it's my great honor to introduce our student speaker, Shirley Camacho. Shirley is graduating tonight with 4 associate's degrees in psychology and social and behavioral science. She plans to continue her education and pursue a bachelor's degree in psychology at Chico State University this fall. Shirley is the first in her family to graduate with an associate's degree. As a participant in Upward Bound and EOPS, she aims to become a school counselor and eventually open her own family practice. We are incredibly proud of Shirley for all that she has accomplished and know that she will continue to achieve great things and represent us well. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Shirley Camacho, our student speaker for the graduating class of 2024.
Good evening, Yuba College Board of Trustees, President Dr. Dotson, honored guests, friends, faculty, families, and my fellow Yuba College graduates. It is great to see so many faces here to celebrate the class of 2024. My name is Shirley Camacho, and I am honored to stand before you today on this momentous occasion. But first, I must ask my fellow graduates, how are we feeling tonight? It's such a surreal feeling, isn't it? Being a first-generation graduate standing before you will forever make me proud to say that I am now part of a small percentage of people who are continuing to break generational norms. And that in itself is a very surreal feeling. But we all have different reasons to celebrate here tonight. Whether you are also a first-generation graduate, a single parent, a reentry student, dual enrolled student, a student managing health or financial obstacles, or even those of us that are grateful for finally passing that difficult statistics class, we have all persevered. With that said, I would like to incorporate a Spanish quote that my mom always reminds me of when times get difficult. I feel that this quote is something that everyone here can resonate with. My mom siempre me decía, sí se puede. She would always tell me, it is possible, which is exactly what we are all proving here tonight. While this ceremony marks the end of a journey, tonight also serves as a celebration for everything that we have sacrificed in order to reach the possibility of being here before you today. We have worked endlessly through sleepless nights, jumped over countless hurdles, and have pushed ourselves beyond our limits in order to succeed. But let us not forget those who helped us achieve this goal of graduating here tonight. I would personally like to say thank you to my family for all their love and support here tonight. Les quiero dar las gracias a ustedes, mamá y papá, mis hermanos y mi pareja, por todo el apoyo que me han dado. Los quiero mucho. I would also like to thank the Yuba College counselors, faculty, and EOPS for their constant guidance and support in helping me make this day possible. Let us all think about and acknowledge the people who helped make this graduation possible as we celebrate tonight. In accomplishing our goals, we have not only shown ourselves, but we have shown others that we are capable of making a difference. Not only that, but we are capable of leaving our mark in this world. As we continue to embark on our new journeys, I would like to remind my fellow graduates of a couple of things. First, remember that the world around us is constantly changing, so do not be afraid to break out of your shell and evolve with it. Secondly, remember to always believe in yourself. Life is going to be full of obstacles, but never give up, because anything is possible. Lastly, and most importantly, never lose sight of your why. There are many factors that motivate us, whether it be family or the chance to pursue a life with better opportunities. Continue to strive to reach your goals. Sorry, it's stuck. When you leave here tonight, take with you a sense of pride, a sense of purpose, and your why. Take a moment to tell yourself, wow, I really did that. And continue to go out in the world and make it happen, because no matter what, sí se puede. Thank you, and congratulations to the Yuba College graduating class of 2024.
Thank you, Shirley, for your inspiring speech and contributions to Yuba College. Congratulations and best wishes to you. We will now enjoy a poem titled To an End by former Yuba Sutter Youth Poet Laureate Salma Antonia Alfaqui. Tonight's poem is original work written by Salma for this ceremony. A copy of the poem is in both the printed and online versions of tonight's program. Salma?
When did it all start? No, really, was it a year ago, or 2, or 4, or more? Or millions more years that we only hope to remember, from which we can hope to learn? I was asked a year or a moment ago, not just to say or write, but to feel. And it's an amazing thing, feeling. That a word, that a moment can be so mesmerizing. And isn't it rude, in a way, that this thing we can't control is ours? Is it? Ours, I mean, who are we without a they to accompany? Who are you without you without you? And what is all of it without feeling? How can we do this? How do we gain control or accept its release? How do we feel without feeling a feeling about our feelings? How do we accept an end? And I say un-end, not the, because the end isn't real. You and you and you are beginning again. And yes, you can take it with you, be it friends or foes or futures or feelings. It's with you. It's all painted on you. It's all inked and wrapped and decorated in taffeta. It is you. These years, that fuzzy tint of memory, it's all yours. A whole world, varying shades of beauty, waiting to be washed in something new. Do you remember the years? Do you remember them, always unmoved, always strong? Don't you feel them with you? Do you hear them whisper, yes, we can? If you can feel the blood rushing, you are here. If you can feel the hearts beating, you are ready. And if you feel it in your bones, the weight of the millennium in your marrow, then you and you and you have become an us. They're with you. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Meredith Selden, Academic Senate President at Yuba College. Thank you, Zalma, for sharing your talents with us this evening in the form of that poem and its performance. Zalma is graduating from high school next week and headed to San Francisco State University, where she will study theater in the fall. All right, now I will be presenting the Yuba College Medal. The Yuba College Medal is awarded to a graduating sophomore who's obtained a grade point average of 4.0 and has contributed the most to the college community. The recipient must have also earned at least 12 units at Yuba College, plus 48 units of graded coursework, and have remained in good standing while attending the college. Candidates for graduation who meet these criteria are invited to participate in the medal selection process. In addition to grades, extracurricular activities play a large role. This year's winner is Sarah Barnes. Please stand. Tonight, Sarah is receiving an AA in psychology and an AS in behavioral sciences and social service. Next year, she plans to continue her education in psychology at UC Davis. In addition to her academic pursuits, Sarah has volunteered with Sacramento Pride, was the president of the Rainbow Connection Club and the Psychology Club. As club president, she helped other students get involved on campus and connect to other resources such as EOP&S, the FPS, TRIO, and the College Success Center. Additionally, she has been the stage manager for the last 5 productions of the Yuba College Theater. And if all that wasn't enough, she founded an organization to help feral cats on campus. Sarah has demonstrated a strong commitment to Yuba College, which is apparent in her work to help others achieve their educational goals and be successful. Sarah's dedication to her peers, her education, and Yuba College embodies the qualities this award seeks to reinforce. Please give Sarah a round of applause.
It's a windy one. All right, members of the class of 2024, Yuba College faculty and staff, former and current trustees, Chancellor Pan, distinguished guests from our K-12 partners, family members and friends, thank you for joining us on this very special day to celebrate Yuba College's commencement, our 96th commencement ceremony in the 97 years we've been serving Yuba Sutter. This is a big moment, so let's set the stage. Graduates, take a deep breath with me and look around. See the stands full of people, who are here to celebrate you. Notice the sounds. Yeah, you can cheer. Notice the sounds. I was going to say the heat, but how about the wind? The emotions, and take in this moment. It is yours forever, so make sure it's sealed here in your memory. While today is a celebration of the completion of this step in your education, it's also a mark of the beginning of the many accomplishments and contributions you will have ahead of you. At the end of this ramp, in front of me is a figurative launch pad, a catapult, or perhaps, most appropriate, a beginning. Your opportunity to start that next journey starts right there. But before you walk down it, let me make sure everyone attending tonight has a better understanding of who you all are and what you have all done. We'll start with some numbers. This year, Yuba College will confer degrees and certificates to 913 students. Good number. The average age of our degree earners tonight is 25, which with the most experienced student amongst you being 65, and the youngest degree earners just 17. Two-thirds of our degree earners are women. Almost 500 of our graduates are first-generation college students. Tonight, we have 15 students graduating who are veterans themselves, including members of the active duty, National Guard, and reserves. In addition, we have 40 dependents of veterans. Thank you all for your service and sacrifices. A majority of our graduates tonight identify as students of color, and while the majority of you live in Sutter, Yuba, Sacramento, Placer, and Butte counties, we also have students graduating from Orange County, Contra Costa, San Bernardino, Tehama, Glen, Lake, Alameda, Solano, El Dorado, Shasta, Nevada, Yolo, and Colusa counties. While these numbers help to create an initial description of who you are, this class and all you've accomplished can't be described through just numbers. To richly describe the enormity of tonight's event, we should also pay careful attention to the people and the moments. Moments like the one many of us at Uba College enjoyed when we cheered on the men's basketball team as they left for the state tournament where they finished in the Final Four. Or the elated feeling we got when they announced our softball team had won the GVC championship. In fact, this year we had 2 student athletes named MVP, 1 student athlete named All-American, congratulations Sam Folkenhorn, 7 student athletes named to the All-State or Region teams, 17 student athletes named First Team All-Conference, 9 named to the second team, and 5 honorable mentions. We don't know yet about our spring athletes honor roll standings, but 76 student athletes were on the academic recognition list for the fall, and 16 of them had a GPA greater than a 3.8. On the field tonight are graduates from our public safety program. This year, we had the unique opportunity to join some of them in a live fire exercise. We donned a full fire suit, headed into a building that was then lit on fire on purpose, and the order to attack the fire was given. I have to be honest, in that moment, I quickly realized I had just voluntarily placed myself in a burning building and sat there, hoping the cadets in training would arrive and put it out. As my nerves started to kick in, just at that very moment, a group of cadets crawled in with a large fire hose, and the fire was immediately extinguished. In that moment, I not only realized just how important programs like our police and fire academy are, but just how incredible it is that we get the opportunity to be a part of their journey. Sitting on this field tonight are also people who make this class unique. People like Joseph Hubbard, who describes his major in college not by the degree he will get tonight, but by the journey he's on. He's majoring in being a better human, being a better listener, and finding a purpose. Tonight, he'll graduate, and I'm certain his big sister is in the crowd, immensely proud. I'm also certain Joseph is on his way to living out his purpose. People like Rebecca Hounshell, who completed a biology and allied health degree and is transferring to Sacramento State on her way to working in a lab and focusing on research. And people like Gurneet Janda, born and raised in Yuba City, Gurneet started at Yuba College in 2016, but took a break to focus on work. Thanks to counselors at Yuba College, she came back, she explored careers, and she found a passion for graphic design. She's completing an associate's degree in arts and humanities, also headed to Sac State, and the next time we see her, it'll probably be on the creative side of a marketing company. And people like Rachel Gonzalez, who completed her associate's degree in kinesiology tonight. Rachel played on our volleyball team, and when we last spoke, she was still deciding between San Jose or Sonoma to continue her education with the hopes of a future in physical therapy or nursing. Rachel's here tonight along with her friends and family. In fact, she's here because of them. Audience, I hope that I have painted for you a clear picture. On this field tonight is the future of our community and our nation. The nurses, rad techs, and psych techs who will care for you when you're unwell. The police officers and firemen who will come when you're in need. The welders and manufacturers who will build devices and machines and structures that make your farms, your homes, or your business run. On this field are the future stars on Broadway, musicians who will perform your next favorite song, and scientists who will discover the next cure. Sitting here are the people who will care for your pets at the veterinary clinics and hospitals, perhaps the author of the next New York Times bestseller, a painter or a sculptor who's about to create tomorrow's great art, and the automotive technicians who will ensure your vehicle is back on the road and your family safe as soon as possible. The list goes on. These numbers, accomplishments, honors, and stories are designed to share some of the description of the class of 2024 and to demonstrate the potential they'll have to impact our community and our world. Graduates, there have been many moments you may have thought that this wasn't possible, moments where you were overwhelmed, but as you heard tonight's student speaker, Shirley Camacho, say, "Si se puede." Tonight, you prove it is possible. While here at Yuba, you were nurtured by an accomplished group of professionals and our faculty and staff who worked tirelessly to support you in your educational journey. Join me now in thanking them for their support and encouragement. Sitting behind you or watching the ceremony via live stream is another group of people who poured into you their love and care on this journey. Sometimes that means they warmed up your dinner while you studied, gave you gas money, called you to encourage you, or told you not to quit. Your family, friends, and supporters made a difference during your time at Yuba. Please join me in thanking them for the help they gave you during your time as a student. Class, after today, you'll mark the end of your time at YC. You'll look back on your time on the Associated Students of Uba College, your time in cohort meetings with EOPS, TRIO, or Puente program, activities with your student clubs, or in the YC orchestra and band, and you'll hold on to the fond memories and relationships created with your classmates. And you'll look forward now to what's to come. As you heard in Salma Al-Fakir's poem, this is not the end. Graduation is about marking the adventures yet to become, the difference you'll make in this world, the achievements you'll have as a member of your career fields and industries, the leadership roles you'll take in our cities, our clubs, our nonprofit organizations, the imaginations and dreams you'll inspire, and the lives you will change. Today is about the beginning, about marking the start of your career, your next step as a transfer to a university, and about placing that degree on the wall and knowing you persisted resiliently to the finish line. Class, today, at the end of this ramp, is a figurative launch pad, a catapult, a beginning. Tonight, you drive forward into this world, making a difference everywhere you go. Thank you for allowing us at Yuba College to be a part of your expedition. We believe it's the best job on the planet. And thank you for making us YC proud every day. Congratulations. And now I'd like to ask the members of the Yuba Community College District Board of Trustees to join me at the podium for the conferring of the degrees and presentation of candidates. Candidates, please stand for the conferring of your degrees. Students, that's you. Acting on the recommendation of the Uba College faculty, I certify that the candidates who are present have completed all of their academic requirements and are entitled to receive their respective degrees. I support the faculty's recommendation that the Yuba Community College District Board of Trustees confer the degrees and certificates earned upon these students.
By the power vested in me as the president of the Yuba Community College District Board of Trustees, and by the state of California, I hereby confer the associate degrees, transfer degrees, and certificates of achievement, certificates of training with all rights, benefits, and privileges thereunto pertaining. Please be seated. As members of the Board of Trustees of the Yuba Community College District, it is our honor to present the candidates for graduation. Trustees, honored guests, members of the faculty and staff, family and friends, I present the Yuba College class of 2024 candidates for graduation who now await their degrees. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, I would like to introduce Professors Brian Jukes and Jose Ramon Munoz, who will be announcing the candidates' names. Will the first row of the graduates please stand?
It's here. Sarah Barnes. Shirley Camacho. Aaron Cornett.
Patricia Moreno.
José Jaime Méndez.
Coquete Matavale.
Jeffrey Kirby.
Gabrielle Johnson Sears.
Jennifer Ceballos.
Melissa Escobar.
Noah Ethan Pilkerton.
Josiah Aguirre.
Jamil Niasi.
Chase Mancini.
Lorena Hernández.
Harmony Balchus.
María Rojas.
Brittany Davis.
Tracy Cosio.
Daisy Arsino.
Sydney Koo.
Isai Aroso.
Malik Wilson.
Luis Gutierrez.
Judy Castillo.
Juan Garcia.
Nathan Swan.
Rajveer Bahala.
Radine Cook.
Alyssa Stewart.
Talia Abalt.
Sharon Blewett.
Tina Tao.
Lindsay Linker.
Kimberly Rivera.
Ulysses Arredondo.
Alan Labra Gomez.
Zian Ray.
Eleanor Headley.
Nate Stevens.
Jorge Luis Valeriano.
Sukhjit Singh.
Lilian Rodriguez.
Zachary Costin.
Jordan Sandoval.
Zenia Eminez Lopez.
Annika Tiara.
Emma Esmeralda Perez.
Tyrese Stanford.
Tammy Clark.
Yusuf Sofisadan.
Juan Munez Guzman.
Gabriel Bernardino.
Maria Guadalupe Heredia Jacobo.
Peyton Knowles.
Alondra Alcarez.
Tochil Lule Valencia.
Damaris Alcarez.
Rhonda Yang.
Maria Noeme Batino.
Jasmine Villarreal.
Diana Morando Castillo.
Yelda Sahid,
Armante Gonzalez.
Lida Sahid,
Michelle Zong.
Eduardo Camarena,
Mercedes Yang.
Jaime Zavala,
Michelle Donis.
Ryan Johnson,
Jennifer Gulbranson.
Allison Justi,
Stacy Parker.
Ashley Rankin,
Aaron Larson.
Bea Murillo,
Angeli Vang.
Lacey Butler,
Anna Madera.
Allison Byrne,
Guadalupe Rivera Mosquera.
Sarah Smith,
Kelsey Gardner.
Gurneet Janda,
Joanna Camarena.
Shania Toche,
Natalie Sandoval.
Jasmine Chima,
Mario Celis.
Amandeep Kaur,
Tierra Galindo.
Faith Sparks,
Holly Johnson.
Andres Paez,
Cheyenne Endicott.
María Celeste Ornelas.
Adrian Juliana Schwartz.
Sarai Henry.
Mayana London.
Samrash Suprai.
Tammy Isalas.
Ikamprit Puribao.
Michael Samay.
Harpreet Singh.
Cecily Jolie Ruiz.
Gurdasham Singh.
Travis Jacobson.
Munit Gill.
Braden Gray.
Joshua Trojan.
Ethan Bowman.
Nathaniel Johnson.
Yair Guzman.
Colin Damon.
Freddie Cervantes.
Kambi Joshi.
Cecilia Hernandez Guzman.
Senim Tour.
Emmanuel Covarrubias Gonzalez.
Gracia Murillo.
Andrea Montes.
Vanessa Callahan.
Aya Alvarez.
Jennifer Esquilato.
Karen Pantoja Reyes.
Belen Basalba.
Jonathan Ortiz Guzman.
Ashley Bryce.
Omar Rodriguez Bernal.
Margarito Viveros Bermúdez.
Sahej Kang.
Kirsty Taylor.
Jasmine Tao.
Berenice Ramírez Villanueva.
Juan Pablo Ruelas.
Evelyn Ramírez Villa Jiménez.
Andrea Ortega.
Harkiret Bat.
Eliana Sanchez.
Kenya Greco.
Veronica Velasquez.
Savannah Hill.
Chelsea Mack.
Steve Andrade.
Holly Hawkins.
José Torres.
Raquel Gonzalez Luna.
Daniel Borrayo.
Richard Henderson Sr.
Juan Escobar Ornelas.
Greg Lerigan.
Alexandra Aguirre.
Caleb Sumption.
Tochil Garcia.
Cindy Vang.
Madeline Roy.
Carlos Vargas.
Haley Buck.
Unique Wanda Grace Rice Jones.
Drew McDonald.
Arshdeep Sangha.
Azucena Aguilera.
Gerlene Kaur.
Alexia Dell.
Amrin Kaur Sangha.
Kendalina Bill.
Aloha Cochran.
Haley Dossier.
Venus Caress Zong.
Cassandra Harrison.
Siklali Flores.
Justine Escobar.
Angel Ortiz.
Curtis Collier.
Ashley Irons.
Marcelina Collier.
Jacqueline Rodriguez.
David Atwal.
Alexis Ambrosio Albino.
Clarice Serrano.
Karina Alatorre Garcia.
Lisbeth Gonzalez Zuno.
Ender Preet.
Emilce Terrones.
Chiose Chow.
Brittany Orcudis.
Alicia Precious Angel Pena.
Timmy Dion.
Vanessa Lopez.
Juliana Alvarez.
Rachel Bird.
Eva Castañeda Ramos.
Allison Resendez.
Ryan Martin.
Maisie Vang.
Alian Emily Cervantes.
Navneet Kaur.
Jomaira Aro Costa.
Marcy Rose.
Emmanuel Tolentino Fernández Jaciel.
Nakta Kar.
Roberto Atilano Graciano.
Lida Faisal.
Jaden Brown.
Maria Shina.
Chan Kang.
Manjot Kaur.
Tatendra Ram.
Kiara Angela Payne.
Lynette Elaine Rojas.
Tanya Farias.
Daniela Zavala.
Karina Bravo Madgalino.
Lisette Ornelas.
Edith Alvizo.
Alondra Carreño.
Montserrat Alvizo.
Yahaira Ramos.
Gabriela Hernandez Reese.
Harmanpreet Singh.
Brenda Chavez Lopez.
Miriam Martinez.
Sarah Bybee.
Susana Huerta.
Vianney Paez.
Sandeep Kaur.
Levon Roy.
Archeli Sagallo.
Ulysses Vasquez.
Kimberly Mason.
Cheyenne Lavalle.
Maya Vieira.
Ethan Garcia.
Andrea Arroyo.
Monica Hernandez.
Ashley Gabriela Jalibe.
Jacqueline Landa Ocampo.
Maria Avila Maciel.
Jir Yang.
Destiny Bliss.
Lindsay Yang.
Tesla Boero.
Victor Palominos.
Simrandeep Kaur.
Omar Rivera.
Natalie Laguna.
Jeremy Hansis.
Cesar Luna Gallardo.
Wayne Campbell.
Lacey Homan.
Jessica Bardwaj.
Danny Lord.
Jessica Mejia.
Frances Alexandra Vargas.
Natalie Yuan Yuraho.
Chandapreet Najjar.
Chantanay Diaz.
Lapreet Dylan.
Elena Ramon.
Leticia Zamora.
Elizabeth Rodriguez.
Joanna Cruz.
Betsaida Lopez Martinez.
Esmeralda Silva Bandilla.
Catherine Silva.
Amri Kaur Duga.
Catherine Martinez.
Harleen Kaur.
Stephen Mendoza.
Roberto Orejel.
Abigail Espinoza.
Jesús Fernández.
Kiranjit Kaur.
Mark Avila.
Michelle Angelina Del Toro.
Gursemir Pada.
Lily Zhang.
Alexandria Horror.
Amit Sanghu.
Grecia Rodriguez.
Dinky Ahir.
Alberto Salcedo.
Selena Nar.
Cassandra Metz.
Yareli Serrano.
Joanna Samudio.
Marcia Akhtar.
Rebecca Haunchel. Leslie Curiel. Fernando Oropesa. Mohamed Sohai. Arifa Kaur. Tipmeet Kaur Doso. Taya Sohara.
Okay, it gives me great pride to be the first to welcome you as alumni. I extend an invitation to each of you to join the Yuba College Alumni and Friends organization and stay connected to this college. And never forget, once a 49er, always a 49er. As we move toward the conclusion of our graduation ceremony, the platform party will exit first, followed by the Yuba College faculty and then our graduates. At the end of the recessional, the faculty will be forming two lines for students to walk through. This is a long-standing Yuba College tradition and allows our faculty to celebrate and recognize our students. It's also an opportunity for students to acknowledge those members of the faculty who have instructed and mentored them. We ask the audience to remain seated during the recessional. And now, graduates, please rise. You may now move your tassel from the right to the left, signifying your new academic status. Congratulations, si se puede.